How's it going, everybody? My name is John. I'm here with Patrick Mini, part of the Patrick Dealer Group in Schaumburg, Illinois, and I've got another exciting video for you today. Because next to me, I've got a 2024 Mini Cooper EV. This 180 horsepower electric hot hatch is a lot of fun to drive. It's great for commuting. Let's take it for a little walk around, go for a test drive. Let's do it. The Mini Cooper Electric. Now there is a brand new Mini Cooper Electric model coming out in a few months, but we wanted to give you a feel of what the previous generation was like also. All right, now a couple of ways to point out that it's an electric model compared to the standard gas model is going to be with all of the yellow accents around the car. So like the yellow S badge on the grille there, a little yellow ring around the center caps, another little small S badge on the fender, and then on the charging door you have a little E badge kind of embossed into the door there, which looks kind of cool. This one is also the signature trim, so you get the black roof, black mirrors, you get the armrest in the interior, keyless entry, things like that as well. But they did a really good job at making this car kind of look traditional, like a regular Mini. They didn't need to shout that it's the electric version because they're becoming so commonplace these days that cars don't need to kind of close off their whole grille and look completely different than the standard one. Just make it the electric one. People notice by it not making any noise. You're saving the planet, doing a good thing, but it doesn't need to shout over the rooftops that it's the electric version. Let's spin it around. I'll show you the back. There we go. Now, as far as charging goes, the charge door's right here. Like I said, you got that cool E logo on the door there. This car gets a 114-mile range, which doesn't sound like a ton, but most people aren't driving over 114 miles a day anyway. I always say if you're going to get an electric car, get the level 2 wall charger for your garage. It's going to make a huge difference in the ownership of an electric car. Plus, if you're getting an electric car, odds are your next car is also going to be electric, so that investment is only going to pay off more over time, and the time savings alone are huge. Speaking of time savings, if you're going to plug this car into a regular wall outlet, it's going to charge at 4 miles per hour, which isn't a ton. It's going to take a really long time to get there. If you have that level 2 charger, it's going to charge up to 80% in 4 hours. They always recommend charging an electric car up to 80% and leaving it there to sustain the lifelong longevity of the batteries. Now, if you have a DC-3 fast charger, if you go to a charging center, it's going to charge up to 80% in 36 minutes, which is super fast. Have a bite to eat and your car's charged. Like I mentioned with those other differences earlier, of course you have no tailpipes, no need for them, and then you have that E badge on the trunk there as well. I always love the roof spoiler on Minis also. And then of course the classic Union Jack tail lights as well, which look really, really cool. Let's hop on the inside. I'll show you some new things in there too. Now, stepping inside the car, a couple of little cool things in here. Mini always has its own little quirky design touches that they put on everything. So to start up the car, you just put your foot on the brake, and then you got this start-stop toggle there. It's in yellow for an electric car, just like all the accents on the outside. And you get all these cool little Mini sounds that you hear. All the little kind of beeps and bongs, they're all unique to the Mini Cooper. And for the electric models, you also get a different gear selector as well, with the little yellow accents on there also. But the classic kind of previous generation Mini interior that you've all come to know and love. You've got the huge kind of roundel kind of style infotainment system with the ambient lighting that goes around it, which always looks cool. Up here you have all of your driver assistance features, so for all of your front collision warning, pedestrian warnings, for active braking, lane departure warning, things like that. And then it's all touchscreen, easy to use. This all uses kind of a BMW kind of based system here, but it looks really good, and they did a lot of cool things to make it uniquely Mini. The maps are always fantastic on any BMW Group product. Some of the clearest kind of graphics and easiest navigation that you can see in any car. This one also has the upgraded Harman Kardon speakers, which always look great. Always highly recommend it. Have it in my car. One of the must-haves, I think, for ordering a new car. Just sounds fantastic. And then the kind of standard instrument cluster. All the cool kind of Mini graphics on here as well. These being unique to kind of charge battery levels and your kind of power outputs there as well. Letting you know how much power you have on here. But super simple. to use. The steering wheel has a bunch of kind of cruise control features on the left side, all of your music and radio on the right side. But yeah, just overall really good design. Everyone loves this interior. Like I said, you got the armrest in the middle, which comes with the signature trim there. You even have a little plaid insert in there also. Just more mini kind of design quirks. You can lift the whole thing up as well, and it can kind of put it to whatever height you want it for comfortability. But yeah, really well designed interior, and it's super roomy in here as well. You also have the dual sunroofs in here also, which is great for getting that kind of open air vibe, and a decent back seat also for kids. All right, now for the fun part, let's hop in, let's go for a drive. So driving the Mini Electric, and the first thing you're going to notice getting in here is that this car is not completely silent. Mini does add its own little soundtrack to the driving experience, just to give you kind of feedback as to what the car is doing. So you're going to notice kind of little whirs, especially under braking too, to let you know what the car is doing and how it's going, but also just so you're not sitting here in total silence, so you still feel a little connected to the car in that way. All right, so this car does have regenerative braking, just like every other electric car, but it does have two settings for it. In the high setting, which it normally starts in, it is pretty strong. You can do that one pedal driving with it. I'm coming up to a light right now. I got my foot off the gas. The car's not going anywhere, and I just let off pretty quickly, and it slowed me right down. But you do have a toggle right down here in the center console where you just flip it, and then it'll go into low regenerative braking mode, and that's going to feel much more like a regular gas-powered car under braking. It's not going to slow the car down just as much. Of course, with the high setting, it is going to recharge the batteries quite a bit quicker, but it is going to take some getting used to as far as that one pedal driving goes, so that it's not too kind of aggressive as you're going. But it does make itself kind of a little game to kind of learn the car and learn how to let off the gas at the right time to slow the car down. All right, now this car does have 4 different driving modes. It's always going to start off in what they call mid, which is just like it sounds, your kind of middle of the road, kind of standard comfort driving mode. If you go up once on the little toggle here, it's going to put you into sport mode. You'll immediately feel an increased throttle response and a little bit heavier steering. With 180 horsepower in here, it is going to definitely have plenty of acceleration, being that you get all that from zero in an electric car. So if you put your foot down, this thing is definitely going to move. And Minis have always been known for having great handling. It's a fantastic driving car. So you definitely have those fun kind of spirited moments. And then if you go down on the toggle switch, you're going to go into green, which is just a eco mode. It's going to have a kind of a lazier throttle response and kind of get as much out of that range as possible. And then if you go down one more time, you have green plus, which is all the same as green, just in a more kind of aggressive setting, even lazier throttle response, definitely things like that to give you kind of that maximum comfort with the most kind of eco-friendly driving possible to get that most range. So I myself am a BMW fanboy. I've had 3 of them now, and I've worked for the BMW group for a long time, and I've always had a soft spot for the Minis as well. They are just fantastic driving cars. All of the owners will tell you the same thing, but they definitely don't get as much acclaim as they should, or as much attention, and they really deserve it because they are just fantastic handling cars. They got plenty of power, and there's really no other cars on the market that are this small and this capable and this well driving. You have a lot of cars in this size range, but they're really not performance cars. They're not premium brands, and they definitely don't feel as engaging as these to drive. So yeah, if you haven't been in a Mini, get in one. Sure, they're not the biggest cars in the world, but that is the point. They want to be small, nimble, fun handling, good driving cars. So like I alluded to at the beginning of the video, there are fantastic lease and finance deals available on these cars right now. For just a couple $100s a month, you can have a fantastic premium automobile with everything you could ask for. You got one of the best infotainment systems on the market. You have heated seats, heated steering wheel. You can get a head-up display on here. All the bells and whistles for just a couple $100s a month. It is a fantastic deal, and anyone that's in the market for an EV should definitely consider looking at the Cooper. It is just a fantastic all-around car. It's probably the best driving car in the range, especially for the price. Going up against its competitors, it's not even an option what you're really going to pick. Drive them all and you'll understand that this car really is just in a league of its own compared to the other cars at this price point. All right, thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time making it for you. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys think of the Mini EV. We've got a ton of new Mini products coming in the next couple of months, so stay tuned for a lot more videos. Looking forward to reading your feedback. Have a great day. Stay tuned for more.